So everything's red. All the individual assets are red. Uh, pretty much all of tech is red. So this sell-off does seem kind of likely to continue. Clearly today, our bias is bearish, right? Because if you look, we opened below this, and so far we are set to close. I mean, obviously, close is far away, but this candle is actually lower than this, right? So we're not feeling too positive about this price action, right? This is quite the breakdown. Struggled to kind of find support. We'll see if it's found here, but something's telling me that we're going to go a little bit lower. Something's telling me we're going to go a little bit lower. So first off, let's set up our liquidity levels like we do every morning, right? And as you can see, we're hitting an area of very low volume. Hitting quite in a liquid area down at the bottom of this chart. And if we go just a little bit lower, we could see the bottom fall out of this thing, just like right here. Just like it did on the 5th, right? About 2 weeks ago. So we're really on the precipice of something very interesting happening. I'm actually going to have to extend this volume profile out just so we have some kind of low to compare it to. Because we could see a deep low coming today if we don't get some kind of good news to turn this thing around. We could get a very, very deep low. And after this, I do want to talk about some of our swing plays. And then we are going to get right over onto our second chart and get it set up. So as per usual, what we're doing is we are taking these lines from the most liquid areas, right? And we are mapping out the prices and the spots on this chart that price is likely to gravitate towards, right? Because liquidity feels absolutely everything in our markets. And I mean everything. Let's just check, make sure we didn't miss anything here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, that's in the right spot. Got one more little guy right there. The 1 hour. And again, we zoom in on these smaller time frames for that same range, just so we can kind of put it under a microscope and see what's going on. And this is going to help guide us throughout the day as usual. This will help guide us through the day. You can also hit that high. And then we'll just grab the last 2 days here. It's pretty much lining up with everything that we have already. Just from those last 2 days. Let's go back towards the beginning of today. Okay, so on the daily volume profile, or rather just on today's volume profile, we are below the point of control. Not a great sign, right? Very bearish. Very bearish indeed. We'll go ahead and map out some of these smaller levels. Now also, we do have to talk about the contest, right? So for those of you who hadn't heard and hadn't seen the announcement, we are going to be doing basically a team-based paper trading contest where our Warrior subscribers are going to be facing each other head to head as teams to see which team can get the best risk to reward ratio for a given time period. And the winners of this are going to be they're going to be crowned champion, and they're going to get a really cool role, and I think it's going to be a really good way to learn. So for all of our warriors, stick around, you know, after we're done with our morning trading session, and we're going to get those teams drafted out. That's another one right here that we're bumping up against right now, actually. And last one right here. All right, we got our liquidity levels for NASDAQ mapped out for the day. So let's talk about TEED. Now, TEED is losing a little bit of steam in pre-market here. But overall, I'm still feeling quite positive about this. We're still seem to be holding support here. Pre-market's always a little bit low volume, right? So not putting too much weight on this, but it looks like we may be coming back down to this this prior support area, and just kind of continuing to consolidate in the wake of that big volume day that we had on the 5th. So definitely keeping my eyes on this one. Feeling quite positive about it. I think that it's fundamentally undervalued, right? So this is certainly one to watch, right? Oh, apparently. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is one to watch. Okay. Now, let's go over to US 30. And to be honest with you, these levels are pretty much spot on still, but we are going to redraw them anyways, just so we can get our practice in and make sure that everyone that's watching is able to follow along. The trial of trades. Gold is going up or down. Hard to say. Let's see what gold's. Let's see what if we can get a handle on gold. Well, it is looking to break support on the daily time frame, right? If we just literally take this line, right? It's looking to potentially break the support. And if it breaks the support, then we might be looking at a move down towards like 47.82-ish, 46.69, right? Gold's been very volatile lately. Let me turn that music down a little. There we go. Yeah, so gold is gold could see a bounce here. If it goes a little bit lower, it's probably going to flush down quite a bit, right? Literally resting on support. And red today, so I have a little bit of music. Bearish on NQ and Estento. I ended up using a big range because we need to be able to account for a drop, right? And if we go to the 1 day, here, I'll show you. If we go to the 1 day, the only real deep low that the deep lows that we have to draw from are right here and right here. And I want to see where people are heavily positioned, right? I want to see where the big banks are heavily positioned, and therefore where could we find support? And we tapped pretty much the same area right here on this wick for this red candle as we did right here. So I wanted to grab that whole area. Does that make sense? And again, the reasoning for that is because we want to make sure that we are including those deep lows, especially on a red day, right? Especially on a red day where we're getting some serious downward momentum. We want to include that. Yeah, feeling quite bearish on NASDAQ right now. And the nice thing is that aligns with predictions based off of last week's price action. So it gives us like a little layer of confirmation, right? If we're just using like your standard bias model, that would also suggest that we're bearish today, in addition to the red price action that we're seeing. All right, there we go. Probably would see very strong support right around the point of control here, right? In this little pocket of liquidity, which, I mean, granted is like a big drop, but it's something that can happen. So we want to make sure that we're tracking it and keeping our eyes on it.
I think Pip has a question about the volume profile.
How do you know what to mark out on the volume profile? What do you mean by that? Like, where do I draw my lines? Why certain areas? So basically what we're doing here, right, is we're trying to map out the areas that have higher liquidity, right? And you could think of these more liquid areas almost as little stepping stones to get across a river, right? To make sure that your feet don't get wet. So price tends to gravitate to the more liquid areas. And the reason is that big institutions need a lot of liquidity to enter or exit a position. Imagine you're trying to buy $200 million of stock. I mean, what do you need, right? Well, aside from the $200 million, you need somebody to sell it to you. And if you're trying to sell it, then you need someone to buy it from you. So price will naturally gravitate to the areas where there has been more historic liquidity. And we're also kind of mapping out where a lot of existing positions might be. So we are looking for any kind of any kind of like basically jutting out, right? Like right here would be a good candidate for it, right? So we see that the volume on the volume profile is sticking way out. So we'll draw a line from there. And once we zoom in, this won't really seem like that many lines, right? And then anytime that there's a sudden change in liquidity, we want to capture that as well, right? So there are some highly illiquid areas that basically price can just kind of gap through super fast. So we want to make sure that we are getting the edges of these, right? So for instance, right there and there, get the edges of those. And we want to make sure that we are looking at the very liquid areas, right? So that's pretty much it, right? We're just looking to map out the areas where we see a lot of liquidity. And you'll see how the price kind of interacts with these levels. It's trippy the way that it reacts. Like it'll actually kind of blow your mind. And I know that because it's been blowing my mind for years. And we got another one right there. Little pocket. And again, it looks like we have a lot, but when I zoom in, it really won't be that much. Realistically, we don't use most of these on any given day. But we want to make sure that we have them. Just in case we need them. Now, for the 15-minute, I'm just going to grab the last 2 days.
Do we have some news that were unexpectedly occurring? Because what the actual fuck is that?
What? This little move?
On NASDAQ?
Holy shit. Yeah. No, that is something.
What the fuck?
That's a fantastic question. I don't know, but US 30 is lagging it right now. And yes, so the reason we do that, Pip, is because when we are talking about institutions, right, which is who we're really tracking here, right? Like we're not doing this liquidity shit to track retail traders, okay? We already know what we're doing, and we don't have enough money to really move this unless it was like in a big coordinated way. And even then, the indices, like we're not moving those, right? So we go way back in time, right? And we do it on multiple timelines because banks and other institutions operate on much higher time frames than we do, right? They're very patient. So some moves might be brewing for days, weeks, in some cases months. And you know, they actually hold these things overnight. You know, they'll hold them for weeks. They'll buy down at the bottom of a range and they'll sell the top, and they'll just kind of, you know, play it in a range and just make tons of money from it. So we want to see where that range kind of is, right? So yes, we mark it out on a bunch of different levels. And you see how it's interacting here? You see how we come up, touch this level, you get a little pop up, and then now we're just sitting and we're resting right on this level. Right? And then if this breaks, it's probably going to flush right down to here. Right? So we can use these as support and resistance, and therefore we can also use it as price targets, right? Just because of the nature of what it is.
I'm genuinely shocked. What is going on?
Dude, I have no idea what's going on there. Are you looking for news?
Yeah, but I don't see anything.
Yeah, Pip, it's gonna, it takes a little bit of time, but once you see it in action, right, you'll recognize like, oh, hey, this is something I should probably, pay attention to. Some of those, more macro moves on the higher time frames. Like, hey, people in the stream will tell you it works. Like, there's a reason we do it. The people who are here every day will tell you that it works, and we do it for a reason. And again, it looks like a lot of lines until we, zoom in, and now, it's not quite so many. But I'm looking to capture more than just the last 2 days volume, because what happens if we drop below yesterday's low, right? Oh, look at that. We came right down. And now we're resting and consolidating a little bit right on this level. Fun.
Are those news something that influenced the market? I posted them in chat. They just popped in.
Been good developments compared to last round. So on peace, yeah, that can absolutely do it. That can absolutely, potentially the end of this little small conflict with Iran, at least for the time being. That could absolutely do it. Sure, whatever. Fuck it. We've pumped off dumber things. So the yellow zones and gray zones, what is the difference? So the yellow zones, this is between the value area low and the value area high. And these gray zones are outside of the value area low and high. That's it. We still want to track, the big changes in liquidity there, but that's all. That's the main difference. I like how we come neatly touch. It looks like we're just going to give that whole move back. We're right back down into this range. It's quite incredible. Quite incredible. Wow.
It's not really about sweeping those lines, Pip.
It's yeah. I was about to say, like, sometimes those lines will be swept, but generally these are more the areas of support and resistance, right? So we want to see how the price reacts to these lines. So if it comes down here and we start to see it kind of stop like it did here, right? And then we see a breakout and a move up beginning, then that's potentially a long for us. I mean, obviously, that's just kind of like one layer of confirmation. We want to see what it's doing in relation to the recent price action. And preferably we want to play along with our daily bias, right? But yeah, it's more about finding the support and the resistance, and more seeing how we react to these levels, because when we're consolidating, like right up here, we don't know, right? We don't know what is happening here. We don't know if this is buying, institutional buying, or selling. We don't know until it drops down. So you see how it kind of comes, it bounces up a little bit, it comes and tests it again, and then it starts to break down. We break right through the point of control. Right as we break down, right, we get kind of under these. That's where I would take a short, right? And that one would be a, what is that, like a $27 move. And then when we came up, right, we'd just be watching this. We come break these lows, we break under this line, right? And then I would enter another short right here, right? This would be another short candidate.
Yo, father.
And we'd come down. What's up?
What were you saying about the support level on gold?
That if we hit it, we could flush. Oh, did we flush?
On gold is absolutely on a meltdown right now. It's $40.
Oh my god.
Just take a look at it.
Okay. Jeez. Whoa, man. That happened quick.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying, like, right, we kind of break that support level and we could flush down real quick. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be really surprised if we came down to like 47.82 over the next day or two.
Possible that it's even in one day, considering the moves we have on gold lately.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Things have been crazy. Things have been absolutely crazy. Like this, the volatility in precious metals has been unreal. Pip, which area were you talking about when we were looking at NASDAQ? Like this breakdown, this would make me short, right? As we broke below the point of control, we broke below these prior lows, right? That would be a prompt to short. We'd come back up, and the second that we start breaking down, that's another prompt to short, right? So I'd be prompted to short when we broke these candles right here, and we also broke down below this liquidity level and also the value area low, and we saw continued movement down. So I'd probably end up entering my short like right around here at this like 505, and realistically probably be stopped out here at like 484. Just on that one, right? I mean, it's different with every trade, clearly, right? But yeah, that would prompt me to short. Like right now, we're kind of seeing how it reacts to this liquidity level, and just trying to gauge whether Wall Street wants to take it up or down from here. But I don't really trade pre-market, so I'm just kind of waiting. I'm just kind of waiting, seeing what's going on. We're getting the grasp of today. Yes, I always trail my stop. So I normally don't have a stop set like, oh, I hit my price target, I'm done, right? I normally trail my stop, and if I end up, getting stopped out, and it's an $80 move instead of a $100 move, like I don't give a shit. I'm still super happy about that, right? I'm super happy about an $80 move. So Rayan, to be honest, when it comes to fair value gaps, I don't really pay too much attention to the fair value gaps. Yes, I strictly trade New York session. Yeah, so I say I would short there, but what I meant is like if the price structure looked that way, right, during pre-market or during open market, I would do that. I wouldn't actually be shorting at 4 a.m. my time. I'm asleep. Exactly. Yeah. No, not generally. So a lot of times, Rayan, those gaps, we kind of watch them, right? Because they tend to get filled, but we're not really factoring that in, right? Because I'm mostly looking at liquidity, and I'm looking at what price is doing. So we could see right here, right on this liquidity level, we could see that this is important because we drew down a little bit, big buys came in, we tested it again, we tested it again, we tested it again, and now we're bouncing up off of it, right? So we can see that this line clearly acted as support. And you guys watched me draw it out. It's not like I drew it out after all the price action started, right? We came right up to this one in 1 minute. And now we're going to see, can we make a push to the next? I don't know. I don't know. But now that we're passing all this, right, like that looks to be a move that has a little bit of strength. And if it can pass through this, right, then our next target would be the 593 after 581. But again, pre-market's kind of janky, right? It's like low volume, low liquidity. Probably market order. Exactly, Rayan. Exactly, right? I just have them as liquidity levels. So I'm not really like, oh, fair value gap or London lows or, anything like that, right? Because I'm not an ICT trader. I trade my own strategy that's a million times easier. So I'm just watching like the overarching levels. I'm watching the liquidity. And yeah, I mostly just do market orders. Right? Mostly just do market orders. Because I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, well, I want it to come down another dollar so I could get a fill. Like if I think it's going up, then I want to fill now. And look at that, right? We kind of crossed above that. I said like this would be a decent long, right? You would have gotten a decent move off of that little $20 move. It's just not worth really doing in pre-market, to me anyways. Like I don't like the low volume, low liquidity. Yeah, we take multiple setups a day generally.
About 6 to 8 trades.
Well, sometimes lately, just because it's been so fucking volatile, we've had to do more trades than we usually do. But yeah, 6 eyes. So my strategy is watching liquidity. I call it the remora strategy after a fish that latches onto whales, because that's kind of what we do, right? Is we locate what the big boys are doing, what all the banks and asset managers, hedge funds are doing, right? And we just kind of follow along with them, right? So if they're taking it up, then we're long. And when are we done being long? When we run into sellers. Oh, 100% pip. 100% pip. You could take 1 or 2 trades a day off of this and be totally fine. So, absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly what Swazzle says. If you make money, you make money. But you see how it comes up and touches these liquidity levels? Rejection. Test again. Rejection. Like, sure, it goes up a little bit more, but that's because there's a big spread in pre-market, right? And things are generally a bit illiquid. So, yeah, super easy. But you could take just 1 or 2 trades, I normally am taking smaller positions, so I'm okay taking several. Good morning, Raji. Good morning. Oh, that's the indicator that does that. I think it's just to highlight certain moves, right? Like you can see when it's darker, it's on a very, very clear uptrend, right? And when these things are lighter, or well, I guess like when it's darker red, right, it's on a clear downtrend. And then when it's like just kind of consolidating and there's no real clear signal, then these colors are lighter. But that's it. It's not it's not the most important thing, right? Because we could always just look and be like, yeah, that's a downtrend. Like we don't need the colors to show us that that's a downtrend, but it's something that the indicator does. Point of control is the area where there has been the most volume, right? So you can see that this is measuring our volume here, right? And then you have the point of control jutting out. Like this is the area where most trading has happened. So generally, if you're below the point of control, it's said to be bearish. And if you're above it, it's said to be bullish, at least on a short time frame. But, you know, like for this, like I don't trust this move, to be honest with you. I really don't. So, you know, we're gonna wait and we'll see what happens on market open. We'll see what happens on market open. Yeah, we're just very, very much consolidating right on the point of control. Yeah, so on the daily, it definitely supports our idea of being bearish, right? On the 1 minute, this could look a little bit bullish. But then if we look at every other time frame, we're bearish. Right? We're bearish. We're dropping lower on the daily, right? So like from like that ICT bias, which is one of the more useful things from ICT, I think. You know, we would be considered bearish. So yeah. That's not really necessarily what matters because the daily bias is right maybe like 70-80% of the time. But all that does is tell you direction. It doesn't tell you like the actual spots where we're likely to find support and resistance. Right? But I would say that you have to kind of take all of it into account, right? You have to take all of it into account. Because if there is enormous selling pressure that's creating a point of control up here, right? Like here. I can't really go back without having to redo my volume profile. But let's say that this is a daily chart, right? Each candle is 1 day, and the point of control is up here. Then we're super bearish, right? We're super bearish. And, you know, we could come up and touch that point of control, sure, right? But generally, you know, it's bearish until we kind of get up there and start messing around in like near that point of control and near that big body of volume that would be there. We would just kind of be on the lookout for it because we know that there's big selling pressure that comes in right at that point of control. And we know that because we're below it, right? A bunch of volume happened and then we're below it. So what I would suggest is like if you're looking at the point of control that way, right? And you're looking at like the ICT bias, like these are layers of confirmation, right? It's not one thing that's going to make you decide on a direction or make you feel a certain way. It's the entirety of the situation, right? It's everything together all at once. And when you link all of those things together, like that's where you can really find, you know, a really reliable entry. Exactly. We want a confluence of them, right? Let's talk about what are your confluences. That's a confluence right there on how we decide which direction we're more likely to play. Yeah. That's what I would say about that. We've gotten rejected 4 times here at this 594. Like I said, I'm not sure how much I trust this move. We'll see what happens when we get into market open. I feel like this is just a rug pull waiting to happen, especially as like literally almost all the equities on my watch list are red. Like almost all of them. some much more than others. Right? Like you saw Teed was down 7%. It's only down 0.07 now. Silver's bleeding a bit, right? Like there's some things that have kind of flipped green, but not super deep green, except for a penny stock that's just pumping for no fucking reason. Oh, no, I guess they have a reason. But yeah, for the most part everything is red or very slightly green. So we're gonna we're gonna see what happens. In US Tech, how much is a point? I want to say that it should be 50 cents. Yeah. Should be 50 cents per point. Or rather per pip. You're asking per point. How much is a point? So we would have to divide this price by 100. Which we can do that real quick. I mean, it changes all the time, obviously. Let's call it 24,580, right? Divided by 100. So point is $245.8. But if you're talking about a pip, it should be 50 cents, I believe, for the US Tech. See, like right here, this is a breakdown on US 30. So this is where we would want to keep our eyes out for a short. Like this could be an entry. I would wait a little bit, right? Because we're kind of seeing a little bit of support there. But now that we have all of our levels mapped out, that's when we get to turn on our special tool that we use in this room that nobody else has.
Ooh, fancy where you got that from.
Right. With bars back 250, and this one is 50?
5.
5, yeah. Yeah. Fancy. Right, so now we can see not only these lines, but we can also see what is happening on the heat map, right? Perfect. That's what I needed right there. It just takes a second to load because this has so much code that TradingView doesn't know how to handle it. Easy trade. So yes, it's a lot of drawings on the chart, but watch, like, right, we're at the 1 minute, you just have a few. But if we ever needed them, here's all the other levels. And again, are we going to use 90% of these on a daily basis? No, absolutely not. But let me tell you, doing this gave me a map on every single market crash that I've seen. Right? They gave me a map because we prepare for the worst. Right? So if we see that there is a potential to make some super deep lows on NASDAQ, then we want to make sure that we are mapping out those super, super deep lows. What do you mean, Pip? And Swazzle, it's the S&P 500 is very, very tech heavy, just like NASDAQ, right? Whereas NASDAQ kind of holds like the shitty companies in it, right? But the US the NASDAQ 100 is relatively close to the S&P 500 as far as movements. Like they generally move together, right? Every once in a while you get a little bit of a divergence, and usually there can be a little bit of a trade, right? Short the one on top, long the one on the bottom. But generally they move together. So this doesn't necessarily confirm like, oh, we're super bearish, right? It kind of adds context to it, right? Like we're seeing support, we're seeing buyer pressure step in, right? And that's kind of what we already noticed. But this gives us context like while we're placing the trade, right? So like right now we're at a point where we have the potential to be super explosive, and that's just based on like a few different things, right? I don't want to give away Icarus sauce there.
I don't think you know all the 40 parameters I use here.
I don't know all of it, but I know a good chunk of them, right? Because we've talked about it. But yeah, so when I'm looking at this, and you'll watch like this heat map will change live, right? Like if we start to sell off a little bit, it's going to change and show that there's been a bunch of selling pressure. Right now, this is mostly buying pressure. So it just kind of adds another layer of confirmation. Yeah, it does add a little bit of a confirmation. And generally, it's going to be in line with what we are looking at, because this indicator, right, this heat map was designed to work with this strategy and with trading in this way, if that makes sense, right? Like it was made to do this.
It basically uncovers most of the things that you wouldn't see on a daily basis. That's why it's called true trade.
Yes, sir. Yeah, easy trade. It's yeah, some people like it simpler, right? A lot of people trade ICT, and ICT is like a million times more difficult than this, to be honest with you. Like ICT, you're looking at so much, and I feel like by the time a lot of people are done looking at it, like the opportunity in the trade is already gone, right? So this is something that I've kind of developed over my 13 years of trading, right? Is this, right? I look at liquidity. I make sure that I am tracking every single move, and I'm just looking for the points where I'm looking for the points where price is kind of drawn to naturally, right? Because you can see, like, even when we run up here, right? We run up and then we come down and we test this liquidity level. Why? Because they want to gauge sentiment here. They want to see, are there buyers stepping up at this level? If there's not enough buying pressure here, they're going to take it back down and they're going to go find some liquidity, right? Like that's kind of the way that you have to look at it, right? Is that they're jumping from one liquid area to another. Right? So, okay, we came down, we tested the point of control. And the heat map also moves around the value area high, point of control, and value area low with the market as it's moving, right? So as the market is taking shape, these auto adjust live on this indicator. So What time do I enter then? Not off the bat at night. I mean, sometimes at 9:30. Definitely not today. Sometimes it's super obvious. Today was seeming pretty obvious until we had this stupid pump and all this consolidation, and now no, I'm not going to be entering right at 9:30. No shot, dude. No shot. I think it was, but you know, before we make a decision, right? And before we take a trade, I want to confirm that it was a liquidity grab. And the way that I could confirm that is if price starts really, really dropping at open. So I'm going to wait for confirmation. US 30 catching a little bit of support here down at these previous lows. But yeah, we don't know it's a liquidity grab or if it's a real move until we see what happens next. So we'll wait and see what happens next, and we'll just react accordingly.
Damn, gold had an insane recovery.
It really did. I was just looking at that over here. Okay, market's opening in just a few minutes. Let me go grab some caffeine. You mind taking over for a minute, Icarus?
Sure.
Depends on the day, anywhere from 40 to 80% pip. And even on those 40 days, we're normally pretty fucking good. So, okay, give me a sec. I'm going to close out of this just so you can stream yours. Oh, if I could do that, let me hide that. There we go. All right. We're letting Icarus swap over for a sec. Everybody make sure you're clicking on Icarus stream here. You can watch along. I'll be right back.
All right, people. So, what are we going to discuss now? So we have fucking Bitcoin. That's something I wanted to look at, yeah. If you guys check here, like on the heat map, you guys can see that we have insane selling pressure right here on this level. So we're far from done with this downtrend. Yeah. So like I said, basically what we have right now is huge amounts of selling pressure that we can also see on sites like coinglass.com. And their book is actually quite red. I'm gonna go and look and pull up a picture for you guys to see. Let me get that. All right, that should be fine. Here. This is how it's looking at the moment. That's what we are working with. You want me to restart? All right, do you guys see it now? Great. It was just because I made a screenshot and pasted the picture in here. So that's how it's currently looking like. This is where we are. And we have all these big nodes. Any buying pressure that we have realistically that is also strong is at around here. That's why it's also green. And those are like pending orders and stuff. Because I've also had the questions a lot lately if the heat map shows pending orders. And it does. It just doesn't display them as raw numbers as you would expect them from like a heat map on Bookmap or something. Yeah, it's an average Discord thing. Yes, I am Deutsch.
It's very Deutsch. Oh, it looks like a bunch of people are having trouble seeing the stream. I'm back. I'm gonna swap over. Boom. There we go.
Show up.
Here we go. All right. We're going to wait here. We have a lot of indecision, right? Big doji, big indecision. We have no idea. So we're going to wait. If we break above here, you know, we'll kind of see how price reacts to that. Expecting big resistance right here and big support here. So let's give it a little bit.
Dow Jones is nuking.
Wow.
Damn.
Give it a sec. We might actually get a good trade off of US 30 here in a sec. Holy hell. I'm gonna wait for this to find a little weakness. It's not right now though.
I'm just a little concerned that the delta is still fucking bearish. Even after this big ass pump.
Yeah.
On Dow.
I'm kind of waiting to take a short, to be honest.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
But again, we're going to wait. We'll just be super patient.
Nasdaq possibly on a breakout here.
I want to see it. I want to see it break this liquidity level. Oh, wow. Dude, US 30 is just swinging so wildly. I think this is actually a good short. I'm going to wait just a little bit more. I'm going to let some of this opening volatility die down just a little bit and give us a nice clear direction. Yeah, dude. Oh, man. Look at these liquidity grabs to the upside.
I'm not going to take any fucking trades for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, literally.
Not worth it.
There's too much risk. Too much risk.
Can't risk being scammed by a $50 candle.
Especially right now, just because, you know, there's a bunch of orders that are getting pushed through from this long weekend, right? Just because the U.S. markets weren't open yesterday. So they're dealing with all sorts of settlement and clearing right now. Like I bet that the back end settlement and clearing is ridiculous. Dow is really looking kind of weak, to be honest with you here. Like this delta being so low is crazy. I am gonna short US 30 here.
Just a little explanation on why we are looking at delta. Delta is the effort from buyers and sellers next to the volume.
All right. I'm dropped out of that short. It's because I rushed it. It's okay.
Yeah, so Pip, like I said, delta shows like the effort from buyers and sellers, and if the delta is negative, but the bias is still bullish, on Dow it is 60% at the moment. So that means
longing Nasdaq here.
That means essentially that
Oh my
the
God.
sellers are still stronger, even though the buyers are more. What the fuck? I just missed that. Damn. I'm mad. I'm not gonna explain anything anymore.
Give it a sec. Give it a sec. I think it goes higher. I'm gonna have my stop here at 670. And we'll just manually trail it up. 690. This is better than break even. So we're good. And there we are, stopped out. Yeah, that's a little $25 move. Wasn't a crazy one.
Oh, I thought you were entering from the value area.
No, it rocketed up and I got my entry like literally right here.
Oh man. I thought you were able to catch the whole move. I was like, oh, fuck that.
No, I caught half of it.
Damn.
And then I got scammed out. Look at that. God, dude, it's so volatile right now. I'm going to have to just take my position sizing down a little bit further and just use bigger stops. US 30 doing something real interesting here. It might give us an interesting short opportunity here in a few minutes. Nasdaq diverging very wildly from it. Just the small cap pump.
US Swazzle, but that's Nasdaq, not US 30.
I kind of want to see where that all settles. It looks like sellers are getting swept out right here on US 30. So maybe the selling could have been a little bit overdone.
I'm not sure if I want to short this. On Nasdaq.
I don't see a reason to short this right now. If anything, I might long it again. I kind of want to see how it reacts to this level here.
At 737, huh?
740. We're so far above this value area high right now. But I mean, obviously, like buyers are dominating. Like all of this is happening at the ask.
Yeah.
So I want to wait a little more and see if we can make this push past this big liquidity node. VAH is value area high. Yeah, look at that. That's why I kind of wanted to wait. Give it a sec.
Damn.
Buying pressure dying off just a little bit. US 30 kind of consolidating. I want to see a little bit more from NASDAQ before I make a decision. We've had so much volatility in the markets lately. Like, these moves have just been crazy.
Yeah, it dropped in a extremely small short on Nasdaq here.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Like I said, I want to see how we react to this level.
It just broke through, but
Yeah, but it's kind of testing though. Like,
yeah,
it's shown a little bit of weakness around it, so we'll see.
possible US 30 long.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of breaking out there. I'm just watching this situation on NASDAQ intently. And again, with this one, I'd like to really see us kind of clear off of testing this 566 on US 30. Just kind of consolidating here. There might be this could absolutely be the disbursement phase, right? Accumulation, this is the manipulation, disbursement here. If we can conquer this entire structure right here and break out above it on US 30, I would probably long that. I'm gonna wait, obviously, because I want to see us do it. I'm suspicious of this NASDAQ. I'm suspicious of the DAC right now. US 30 just running into a lot of resistance right here at like 592. All right, we're testing this liquidity level again on NASDAQ. Let's see if we can break through and get in a nice explosive move. Longing US 30 here. Small long. Whew. I filled like halfway through this fucking candle at like 591.
Damn.
My stop's gonna be right here. This 547. NASDAQ potentially breaking out to the downside. We'll see. Yeah, it's just kind of consolidating. Oh my god, how did my stop? Okay, there it goes. Let's say it hit, but it didn't fill. I am gonna wait. NASDAQ short here. All right,
I love it when I'm being right. Yeah.
Stop at 700. Dude, what is with these fucking candles? Holy shit. Are we gonna have to move to a bigger stop? This thing is just moving, man. I'm gonna move to a bigger stop. I'm gonna move my stop up to 710. And we'll trail it down as it goes.
I have my entry at 706.
There we go.
Oh. I'm probably taking profits at around 630.
I am moving my stop down to 665.
And I'm out.
I'm out. I'm out.
Jeez.
See that little bounce off of that. I'm out. I'm good. That was a good move. That was a good move.
Yeah, it tapped right into the buy pressure clusters.
US 30 potentially with a short opportunity here. I'm just waiting. Want to see a little bit more. But it looks like it's about to invalidate all of this movement since open for the last 15 minutes and put it all underwater. See, that's what I was saying, man. This pump, I didn't trust this fucking pump. Does it mean it won't go higher? No, but you know, that was definitely a liquidity grab. It's like Pip was saying, right? Liquidity grab, potentially. Lucas, that's because I do not have my broker linked up to TradingView. My broker doesn't do that. My broker does not connect. I don't trade with a prop firm, so I'm a little limited on what I can connect to. Want to see it test this, how we react to this liquidity level right here.
I'm just genuinely shocked.
Yeah? What are you shocked about?
How about that entry at 706?
Yeah, no, it was a good one. It was a good one. What are you doing, US 30?
You know what's
I'm
funny?
gonna wait for this candle close right here. What the hell is this thing doing?
I don't know.
It's just a big candle. It's like a $70 candle.
Jeez. Nasdaq just dying.
Yeah, that is looking real weak.
Just like Swazzle forecasted.
Just a
Tonight's the
little bit
night.
more. Nasdaq to zero, finally.
Yeah.
I want to see how we react to these prior lows. And Lucas, I normally just map out my stops is the big thing. Because this always ends up, right? It kind of, like, watch here. I'm not taking this. But right, all this time right here, kind of adjusting and finding the target. I don't know. I've never really used this tool, to be honest with you.
Nah, Geo, I don't need to lend you 5 grand. You can just join Warrior and make them yourself.
Yeah, literally. All right, we had a big test of the point of control. Rejection on NASDAQ. Let's see if we do it again. NASDAQ is on short watch. We are on short watch again. Especially if we can invalidate like everything today. Great job, 970. Great job, 970. The reason, Pip, is because I moved my stop, and when it came up, it traced up and it hit my stop. And Lucas, if you ask around in this channel, I bet that they would tell you that you can. Right? Because we do this every single day. Win rate, depending on the day, somewhere between 40 to 80%, I would say on average. Is probably somewhere around 70. Yeah. Yeah, dude. December was crazy. All right. This is NASDAQ dying here.
Shit. Random shorts. Holy shit.
Give it a sec. Give it a sec. Let it break through under this. All right. Shorting NASDAQ here.
Damn.
All right. I'm in. I'm in on the NASDAQ short. 535 is my stop. Yeah, I have a rule that when it hits my stop, I'm done, right? Like that's the trade for me. So I'll trail it down as much as I can, but when it hits my stop, I'm done.
All right, I took profits here for the short. Entry was fucking 706 till now. Fucking hell.
Moving my stop down to 520. This will change the color of that for you guys.
Yeah, Lucas, you have to mute Father's stream here on Discord because he also streams via the web and it echoes.
So the stop is at a certain level and it trails down. But I never remove the stop completely. How did that not get filled? What is going on with my broker today, man? I need to reduce position sizing. Okay, there we go. Stopped out. Womp womp.
Yo, Tyler, what up, Chief?
What's up, Tyler? Yeah, so Pip, yeah, I do move the stop around, but if my stop gets hit, then I'm done, right? That's a personal rule that I have. What, like my real name? It's Caleb.
And doxed.
Yeah, go ahead. You're never gonna find me. I like how I got scammed out of that one. No, Swazzle. Catching a little bit of support right here. If this breaks down, though, this thing is going to absolutely dump.
This is fucking insane.
Today's a mess. Pip, because I want to make sure that if it reverses in a big way that I'm not giving back all of my gains. So any of that choppiness, sometimes that'll take me out, but oh, short watch. Yeah, and it could come back, but I can always re-enter if I get stopped out and it keeps going and I feel good about it. Lucas, which question? Shorting Nasdaq here, and we're gonna use.
What do you mean, Pip?
We're gonna use a big stop. All right, I'm filled at 435. I'm gonna literally set my stop up to 470 right now. Give myself a lot of room. Yeah, real small short here. Very big stop. Still holding my stop at 470. Because today is very, very crazy.
Yeah, Pip, basically.
Jesus Christ. Well, today is not my day, dude.
You be saying that after catching that short.
Yeah.
Did you increase your position size or what?
No. No, I did not.
Then you should be green.
I am. But my win rate is ass. Yeah, today is not my day. Like, I'm green, but it's slightly green. Exactly, Pip. Exactly, bro. You know how it is.
US 30 might be in for some shorts here.
Yeah. That's looking pretty fucking cooked.
Nah, Pip, I'm not up to 100k. That would be insanity, even for me.
Yes, it would be. Because at that point, like, why are you even trading fucking scalping futures? Like, dude, just go buy some good shit and hold on to it for a few months.
Literally.
Literally. Yeah, like I've said over and over again, right? This is not the majority of the trading that I do.
So Pip, I'm currently up about 10%. 10% of my account. You don't need to know how much.
Good shit on what, Hova? Just watching a little bit more. I want to see what happens here.
Yeah, Pip, on my $1 account.
He's up 10 cents, yeah. See, I'm just
I had to.
skeptical because I don't want to turn this green day into a red day.
I'm still holding on to the short that you called on NASDAQ.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to transition to not using a stop initially today.
That's what I'm doing at the moment.
It's what's gonna have to be done. Just because it's so fucking volatile, man. Like these stupid scammy ass wicks coming up. It literally came up, bro, to touch my fucking stop, and then came back down. And I know
Yeah,
that's why
okay.
you were asking about the size. Like, oh, did you have big size on there that they could see?
Geo, the thing is, even a fat candle can not really fuck you over if you do it like we do, because like the way we trade is that we have small positions that don't really affect too much if we get like completely nibbled
out. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I was trading small size. Like I just genuinely was surprised that it came up and hit that stop. It was 35 bucks away. Just kind of watching the situation at US 30 play out.
So Pip, the liquidity lines are not really like being monitored the entire time. It's like Father explained it the other day. It's more like a roadmap.
Yeah. It's more like a roadmap just to kind of let you know what areas to be on watch for, right? So like we came up, tested, right? Tested, and now we're going to see if we get, so far it's been a big rejection, right, off of that liquidity level, which to me says that we might be going lower. But I'm going to wait for this candle to close and see what happens next. And also one of the biggest things that we trade is breaks of structure, obviously. So like here, we tried to break structure, and then the second we did, we got up to this liquidity level and just got knocked right back down. Exactly. So these are areas to watch for reversals and continuations. Basically, yeah, that's what we're looking for, right? Because it's support and resistance. So these would be the areas where, like let's say that we ran up here, right? We'd be watching it, and then by the time we get up here, a lot of these positions are going to start unwinding, right? A lot of the short is going to start unwinding, just because there'd be buy pressure taking them out. True Trade is incredibly helpful.
To put it that way, like anyone that I asked so far that uses True Trade has seen improvements.
You see? So now we should see either a doubling down of shorts here, right? Or if we ended up getting continued upward momentum from here, we'd see a complete unwinding of all this. But we could see that it was shorted really heavily right here. And True Trade shows us that. But we could also just look at the chart and see, right? Like there was big short pressure coming here and slammed it right down. So I'd expect this to hold up as resistance unless we really started kind of breaking up, in which case I suspect that a lot of the short profit taking would happen on the institutional level, right? Because they work on just higher time frames than we do, right? They could build a move for fucking weeks. Yeah, bro, Icarus needs that $70, dog. I was about to say, so with CFDs, it's a little bit different than futures. Like, don't get me wrong, they trade very similarly, but futures, you know, have the opportunity to be mispriced, whereas a CFD by virtue cannot be mispriced. Like you are, it is a contract for the difference between the price of your entry and the current price. That's really kind of the biggest difference between them. Yeah, an indicator to size for CFDs would be really useful because I trade CFDs, so. Potential breakout on US 30. Want to see how it reacts to this point of control here. Oh, nope, never mind. We don't break we don't break out. That's why we have to wait for the reaction. All these charts are a fucking mess today.
Here, the link that I'm putting in chat right now is for the futures to calculate your position size. And CFD1 is coming end of the week.
No, Pip. It just takes some time, brother. You got to realize that a lot of the people here have been coming to these streams for months, right? Like this is not the first rodeo. Potential short on US 30 if we can confirm this break of structure. Waiting. Reading market structure. Okay, yeah, we could probably do that. That's pretty easy. Well, you know, it's easy to record. There's a little bit of understanding that goes into it. Let's see how we react to this value area low. This might be a short right now on US 30. I'm just gonna wait a little bit, but yeah, we can 100% do that, Raji. Yeah, I got you, brother. There is a video on how True Trade works. Yeah, I mostly trade CFDs. Oop, is this our moment? Opening small short US 30 here. Right, I'm in. Dude, this thing looks cooked. That's okay. I am holding this short right now.
You shorted? Activate quantum pump.
Literally. Nah, that's okay. That's why I'm literally just free balling it with no fucking stop right now. Because I have a little bit of wiggle room today. While staying green. But we have these big scammy wicks, and I really don't want to get stopped out because I'm feeling a certain kind of way about this move.
When you run out of lines, you just draw new ones.
Yeah, basically. No, we're not going to run out of lines.
If
Dude,
we ever run out of lines on one day, then shit is about to fucking hit the fan.
Dude, I was about to say, if we run out of lines on a day, like that's actually problematic because something insane is happening. Still just holding my short. Yeah, if we ran out of lines, that would be very problematic because like you got to realize where these lines go to, right? Like brother, if this thing drops past 47,821 in a day, we have bigger problems than the fucking lines. That means that the market is like fundamentally broken and just not working.
Can we also just clown the people in the free chat that voted for the bullish bias on the poll?
Well, the bias, right, again, and a lot of those guys trade ICT, the bias was absolutely bearish going into today. So, like, if you understand how to read bias, right, and how to basically obtain that opinion, then you would never say it was bullish, right? You would have only said it was bearish. Still just holding on to the short. Still haven't put a fucking stop in. We'll catch you later, Raji. Yeah, there's a few, Estento. There's a few. But realistically, like I said, futures and CFDs are they trade based off of they're both derivatives of the same thing, right? So if you're trading a CFD on Nasdaq, NQ is also a derivative of Nasdaq, right?
US 30 shorts are popping.
Mm-hmm. They sure are.
Dude, my heat map is so fucking red.
I'm still just waiting. Like I don't really see a recovery coming right now. Like buyers are fighting it, but it might be in vain. Still no stop either. Just letting it roll. Because it's kind of one of those days where you take a real small position and let it ride.
Pip, you cannot only like take point of controls into perspective. You also have to look at like the reason why price moves. If you know why the price is at a certain point and moves, then you can know why price is also retracing.
Yeah, you can't use just the point of control, right? That's just kind of like an extra layer of confirmation. And sometimes, we'll go up and we'll test the point of control and reject or blow past it, and that could be a really good signal for a move. But it's really just kind of like it's one of the things that together will give you kind of an idea of where something's headed, right? It's a confluence. So everything is surrounding liquidity, right? Everything is surrounding liquidity. They will move stock down, right, to hunt liquidity. They will move stock up to generate liquidity. And what I mean by that is, imagine that you just pump a stock up, right? Charts like this. You know how much attention that gets and how much potential liquidity can be generated because people flock in. They're like, oh my God, it's going to the moon. And that's where you short it back down, right? Because now you generated all this liquidity and now you get to capture it and hunt down all their stop losses. Does that make sense? So literally everything in the market is surrounding liquidity. Liquidity is so important that there's a job, like a firm type, called a market maker, and their entire purpose is to provide liquidity, right? The Federal Reserve has overnight repo facilities where they will basically, they are the lender of last resort in the event that a firm is facing a liquidity crisis. They will basically provide them with cash in exchange for holding on to some of their assets, right, overnight. Think of it as like basically a big margin account with the Federal Reserve. Like that's how important liquidity is that we actually have at the national level, right? We have something to provide liquidity. And there's an entire job that's centered around providing liquidity. The major move would be where the direction is going anyways, no? Yeah, I mean, generally, yeah. Generally. I'm just letting this thing fucking ride right now. Ugh. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that? What is that? Ooh. Gee, what the fuck kind of candle is this? I'm flipping between green and red right now on this little position. All right, I'm closing this. Wow, that was actually fucking stupid. I can't even explain this. All right, I'm out. That was fucking dumb. I mean, we are retail traders. We are retail traders. And market makers aren't gonna hunt a single person's $200. But if there's a big cluster of stops, right? Like I'll tell you right now, one of the biggest things you can do when you're trading equities is if you are setting your stop below 10%, there's generally a really good chance that it's going to get hit. And that's because most retail sets it at about 10%. So they will literally, when something is going just absolutely nuts, they will draw it down that 10 to maybe 12% and loosen all those shares back up, so that way they can accumulate for the next move up. So like there's a little bit of truth. There's a little bit of truth, to it. But for the most part, yeah, like they're not hunting your individual $200. It would just be if a bunch of people had their stops at the same area. And a lot of retail trades the same way, right? Like ICT, every futures trader trades ICT. It seems like.
At least the majority.
At least the majority, yeah. Is there fucking news that's out right now that I missed?
We have no news on fucking
There's no
Forex
Fed
Factory.
data.
The only things that we have at the moment is
That was
listed.
That was literally a $140 move in 3 minutes.
Let me look. Israel says FMSAR to attend Trump's Board of Peace meeting. HD Tech launches Cyber Lifeguard standard for US defense contractors, enhancing NIST and CMMC compliance.
I mean, I guess this could be Israel news. We did kind of have a stupid pump on, Iran having some preliminary agreement with the U.S.
Yeah, you dropped the news
as well. Yeah, that's that was a really stupid move.
But we don't care. We are green on the day.
Just barely for me.
Ooh.
I'm like one or two little trades away from flipping over. But I will say that all my puts on the swing calls are doing really well. So hey man, if you look at the swings, like that's why fucking I think 4 out of 5 of them are bearish. And I'm just waiting for the earnings, right? There's a bunch of earnings plays that I'm shorting, like Cinemark. I think movie theaters are dying. They've been dying. They'll continue to die. Entering small short here on US 30. All right, I'm in. I'm in. Stop is going to be at like 365.
Ooh, gap down.
Yeah, like the smallest little gap. All right, gap filled. Got you, Pip.
No worries. That's what we are here for.
Got you, Pip. I stopped at 345. Might be a little tight with today's conditions, but making sure I'm keeping myself safe. Point of control just shifted way down. There's a lot of heavy volume coming in right here.
I think your short can play out.
I think so too.
but
I
it will probably take its time.
Yeah, it might take a little time. That's okay. We got these two big ass wicks up to the top side where they're just sweeping out buy side liquidity. So, like, it's promising. I mean, it's green right now. We must stop down to 330. And then after this, for all the warriors, stay tuned because it is going to be time to draft our teams for this upcoming event. And to announce, of course, our team captains. Crazy wicks to the upside here. I feel like today's just been a battle, man.
That's been decent. I can't really complain.
I can't either. I'm just saying that like dude, there's a major fight happening right now on these charts. Look at these fucking wicks these last few minutes. Like there's a major fight happening.
That they're losing rapidly right now.
There we go.
Pooh.
And just like that, we are so back today. Stop gonna move to 265 realistically, might just manually close this.
No.
I didn't say right here. Although it might happen in a minute here. Because we are seeing a little bit of support.
We're also getting more volatility here in this level.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because everything's fucking invalidated. This all of these longs up here are. And shorts are hammering it away because they know what happens the second we break under this area. They're on the precipice of just absolutely annihilating this fucking thing. I'm just, you know what? I am probably just going to take profits here, I think. I don't want to be greedy. That was a massive move I just hit. Oh, nope. I'll just get stopped out. Yep. Right, stop hit. Perfect. Excellent. Yeah, that one was big. Hey. ZX. Not yet, anyways. All right. Well, you know, I think that, you know, now we can make our little announcement on who our two team captains are. So, we are going to have Unnamed as one of our team captains. And that's going to be from Vanguard. Type this out. And Seth is going to be our team captain for our Eclipse team. So, now the question is how many warriors that are here want to participate? That is the true question. Non-warriors are not eligible at this time. No. Yeah, you got to join. You got to join. Got to join. Rebel, do you want to participate? I know Tyler wants to.
Y'all gotta realize, like, you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, you have nothing. You have nothing to lose here. Everything to gain. Good sister, HJ, Estento. Who wants in on this? Little friendly competition. Get to learn from each other, work together, and basically simulate trading at a fund. So I think it'll be really fun. I think
Nah, Rebel, you are.
I think that everyone's ready, right? This is to learn, guys. This is to learn. Like this is the whole purpose of it, right? It's exactly. It's really not about being ready. It's about being ready to learn. It's going to give you guys an opportunity to talk to each other and learn from each other. And we're going to do, a little bit of we're going to kind of follow along with it on social media. So, we're going to turn it into a little show of sorts. I think it's going to be really fun.
All also, right. Unnamed and Seth, you two have to choose, like, who is the Joker for your team.
Yeah, you get to choose between Icarus and I. So how about this? Let's have Unnamed pick the first. No, you know what? Let's have Seth pick the first person and Unnamed pick the first Joker. So Seth, who would you like on your team? Yes, Alonzo. And we can add these roles to you guys right now. You can't pick me. So you get the first person, right? Like the
Jokers
traitor.
The Jokers are only there to give, like, guidance over, like, the month. You can ask the Joker 3 questions from the team to get some help if you need any. We don't really participate in the trading term.
We're going to have, so right now we have Tyler, we have Rebel, right? We have Tyler, we have Rebel, we have Estento, we have Good Sister. And I'm giving you guys your roles right now for your teams. I can just separate them. That works too. If you guys would prefer, I could just separate them. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so how about this? I'm just gonna separate them, and then we could just kind of flip a coin to see who gets who. Icarus, their team you want to work on? I'll let you have the choice. Oh yeah, you guys have the channels. You should have just seen something pop up on your yeah, you guys
below the community tab.
Yeah, below the community tab there should be King of the Bills. Oh, that short would have continued to play out. Whatever. It was really nice. It was a really nice trade, anyways. Okay, so I am going to just split you guys up. You know what I think I'm gonna do is we're gonna have to put Tyler on the opposite team of Seth. What's going on, Adrian? So we'll put Tyler on Unname's team. Just so that way he has to go against Seth. Right? We could put Rebel on Seth's team. We'll also put Good Sister on Seth's team. And Estento, we will put on Unname's team. So we should all have our roles here. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys. So please go check the rules inside of your respective channels. You should see some channels over there. Check out what's going on. Make sure that you catch up on the rules, and make sure that you are placing your trades in those channels so we can see all of them. And may the best team win. Remember, you only get 3 Joker challenges or 3 Joker questions. So make sure that you are using them. We cannot answer anything that is related to direction. And we're going to be ending this contest on March 1st. So I guess really March 2nd is when it'll end. So you guys have 2 weeks to rack everything up. And good luck. Good luck. May the best team win. Oh, does Shay want to join too?
Hell yeah.
Yeah? Hell yeah. All right, we're going to put you on... Let's put you on Seth's team. So you are going to be Eclipse. And then that means that we will need one more. So Swazzle. You want to join Team Vanguard? All right. Swazzle
So,
Vanguard.
of who am I the Joker now?
You can be the Joker. How about this? You can be the Joker of... it's up to you. It doesn't really matter. You get to pick.
Seth and Unnamed. Pick it.
Yeah. Well, Unnamed is driving, so...
Yeah, true.
So we'll have Seth pick it here, probably.
Realistically, we only need him to pick.
Yeah. And again, all the rules are in your guys' channels. Yep, pressure hitting. You get to pick either Icarus or I, and then the other one's going to go to Unnamed's team. So whoever you don't pick is going to be helping out the other team. This is going to be such a fun event.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what we can come up with. I mean, I won't be coming up with anything, but you know, I am excited to see it. Yes,
Yeah.
that is correct, Seth. Yep, you get either Icarus or I. Just one. Ooh, Vanguard wants Icarus. Okay. They're gonna fight over you, bro. They're like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want that idiot father, bro. Okay, perfect. Sounds good to me. So I am going to be the Joker for Team Eclipse, and for Team Vanguard, we are going to have Icarus.
All right.
All right. Well, may the best team win. And you guys can start today if you would like. But remember not to overtrade. Remember not to overtrade. All right, everybody. Well, I think that is all the business that we have for today. We had some really good shorts. And yeah, I think that that'll conclude it for at least this morning. I do also want to say that we're probably going to be adding some more live streams into the rotation pretty soon, at least from me. So keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes open for those announcements, and we'll go from there. But I do want to add in some more live streams to our schedule, so we'll do this a little bit more often. I just got to figure out what the best times to do it are. And yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Fancy.
I know, right? Fancy. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the competition. And yeah. Don't use all your questions right away.
See you later.
All right, guys. Cheers. See ya.